Hello and welcome into NJCAA All Access. I'm Zach McKinstry, and as we move into the middle of April, we have convention coming up. Athletic directors from all over our NJCAA member institutions are coming to Charlotte to talk about some important things across the NJCAA. But let's start with our spring sports today. Upsets galore in last week's scoreboard. We start in South Carolina, where unranked USC Union split a 4-game set against the number 1 in the country, Gaston College. After a 20-run stomping in the first game, 31-11, the Bantams rallied back to take the second game thanks to this walk-off winner from Michael Barron. The trend continued on Sunday as the first of the doubleheader went to the Rhinos, but the 4-game finale was a thrilling victory for USC Union, decided by 1 run. The pitching for USC Union really impressed. Starter Blake Baldwin struck out 6, allowing only 1 earned run working into the 6th. And then Jordan Fricks went the rest of the way, not allowing any hits or walks, to pick up the save and the series split. Here was the final out. The Rhinos' loss was not the only upset across Division I. Number 5 Gulf Coast State lost 3 of 4 last week to number 20 Northwest Florida State. The Raiders took both on the road and then at home won a tight game by 1. It was the C's in the lineup that led the way. Colby Jones, Caden Gaskin, and Cade Sadler each had multi-hit, multi-RBI contests. And after a late push by the Commodores, it was the sophomore shortstop Jones that added the decisive insurance. Big week for Northwest Florida State and a ton of talent in Region 8. Moving to Mississippi and Division II, number 17 Northwest Mississippi split a doubleheader with number 7 Jones winning the first game in dominating fashion. Freshman righty Brennan Jones looked really good, tossing 7 scoreless innings, and at the plate, Cade Leatherwood accounted for 3 of the 13 hits, as well as a trio of RBIs. The bright spot for the Bobcats was Brady Thomas, the switch-hitting two-way player that reached base 4 times to boost his average to .351, which complements his 5 saves on the bump. On to Division III, where number 9 Paul D. Camp took the series over a really good Surrey team that is ranked number 7. Let's look at the second game, a low-scoring battle that the Canes won 3-1. Right-handed sophomore Cooper Newell looked good, tossing 5 innings, allowing a lone unearned run and striking out 4 Knights batters. C.J. Patterson picked up the save in a scoreless effort out of relief, and Camp moves to 31-7 with a big series victory. To the softball diamond, where even though McLennan took the series, Grayson delivered the Highlanders their first loss of the season, 6-4. Freshman Macy Jones got the win, only allowing 1 earned run through 6 innings, and on the year has tallied 61 strikeouts to just 18 walks. At the plate, Trinity Allen helped McLennan jump out to an early lead, but Minna Zamarin, 2 for 2 on the day, helped Grayson rally. Here is the final out. Number 3 Florida Southwestern dropped the game as well to unranked Daytona State 5-2. Sophomore righty Ali Talamintes got the win, pitching all 7 innings and only allowing 1 earned run. Her 2.53 ERA this year has been a bright spot for the Falcons, and at the dish, Kaylee Cannon's double and 2 RBIs helped Daytona State pull off the upset. In D2, Kirkwood put on a clinic against number 9 Des Moines area, sweeping the doubleheader and winning 13-0. Sailor Hall did it in the circle and in the box, pitching 5 scoreless and adding a hit and a run. The West Liberty, Iowa native has been great in both areas this year with a .355 batting average and a sub-3 ERA. Errors were the difference in this game as 4 Bears mistakes accounted for 9 unearned runs. And how about the absurdity of this 2-game set in Division III softball? Number 2 Patrick and Henry lost both to Caldwell Tech, including an 11-inning game that finished 1-0. Morgan Strickland pitched the entire game for the Patriots, dealing 19 strikeouts and not allowing an earned run. On the other side, sophomore Isabel Curry pitched 8 scoreless innings with 12 strikeouts, and the two teams combined for 32 strikeouts altogether. Aaliyah Ickard walked it off in the bottom of the 11th to put a close on what was a phenomenal pitcher's duel. Over to lacrosse, where there were more top 3 matchups last week. This time it was number 1 Hartford beating number 3 Essex at the last second. The Owls trailed by 3 heading into the 4th quarter, but rallied back thanks to Cole Werner, who scored 5 goals, including the game winner with 8 seconds remaining. But check out this go-ahead goal by Caleb Hare in the 4th. Big win for Hartford as we move to women's lacrosse. Anne Arundel bounced back from their tough loss last week with a tight win over Monroe. Sky Gaudio had 7 points, but her effort was matched by Grace Adkins and Ashlyn Deans, who combined for 8 goals. Rhianne Dennis was the hero in this one, scoring the game winner with 4 minutes left to take down the number 3 squad. Ranked matchups all over the place in baseball, softball, and lacrosse, and even more on the way with less than a month to regional championships. Out west, number 15 Arizona Western take on the Vaqueros of Central Arizona in a top 15 matchup on Tuesday. The Matadors have 4 players with 30 or more RBIs this year, while CAC redshirt freshman Matt Quintanar leads a powerful lineup with his .338 average. In D2, another big matchup in Mississippi. Number 2 East Central battles number 4 Pearl River next Wednesday. The Warriors have only lost 3 games this year thanks to a stacked lineup, but they face the 2022 national champ Wildcats, who have hit a whopping 75 homers in 45 games this year. Interesting matchup in D3. Erie, who received votes in the latest poll, travels to take on number 7 Niagara County on Saturday. Both of these teams are pretty evenly matched, but the pitching could be the difference in this one, with the Thunderwolves holding a much better team ERA. Back to Texas for D1 softball. Number 5 Temple takes on number 19 North Central Texas on the road on Saturday. It'll be fun to watch Rayleah Parsons for the Lions, who is hitting .511 with 13 homers and has only struck out 7 times in 135 at-bats, against Temple pitcher Haley Crawford, who has struck out 86 batters and has a 19-3 record in 24 starts this year. Maybe the top mascot mashup comes in D2 softball. The number 1 Parkland Cobras play a conference opponent and the number 17 ranked Spoon River Snappers. John Bassett has done a great job with SRC, winning their first conference championship in nearly 50 years back in 2022. But the number 1 Cobras have been dominant all year, boasting a 1 team ERA. Back to lacrosse as number 4 Onondaga gets a shot at number 1 Hartford on Saturday. Hartford has been perfect this season, but both teams have been similar in man-up chances as the Lasers try to score an upset. And a chance at redemption for Anne Arundel's women's lacrosse. After getting blown out by Onondaga last week, they played them again at 1 on Saturday. That 19-3 finish is the only blemish for the Riverhawks thus far, and we'll see how they adjust against this Onondaga side, which is scoring more than 20 goals a game through their first 3. The NCAA stars of tomorrow are shining in the NJCAA right now, so be sure to check out some of those games next week. All right, quick break on the way, and when we come back, we jump straight into rankings and our JUCO Gems. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
Welcome back to NJCAA All Access. With all those upsets that we were talking about earlier, there was a ton of movement in this week's rankings. Let's start with Division I baseball. For the first time in nearly a decade, the Iowa Western Reavers are up to number 1, jumping number 2 Central Arizona and now number 4 Gaston College. Johnson County makes a big jump up to 3 from 7. Northwest Florida State is up to 12. Cowley and Chipola make an appearance. And how about the fall from Gulf Coast State? The Commodores go from 5th to 17th. In D2, the Brunswick Dolphins just keep climbing. They're up a spot to number 5. Pasco Hernando drops out after being 14 last week, and Kellogg takes their place in the rankings. I talked about the Camp and Surrey series earlier. That moves Camp all the way up to 6 in Division III, as the top 5 remains the same. Surrey drops to 9, and Caldwell Tech drops out, replaced by Century College. In softball, McLennan is still the unanimous number 1 after dropping 1 to Grayson last week. Indian River State flip-flops with Florida Southwestern. Salt Lake jumps up to 6. Walters State, Paris, and Grayson fall. And 2 new teams enter, North Central Texas and Bossier Parish. D2. Top 8 stay the same. Des Moines area and Kirkwood switch. Cowley up a couple spots to 18, and a big fall for Northwest Mississippi. They drop 9 marks down to 20. In Division III, Caldwell Tech makes a massive jump. After beating Patrick and Henry, they're up 7 spots to 3rd place. RCSJ Gloucester drops down to 6th, and Suffolk, CCRI, and Northampton each drop a spot. Lastly, don't have to touch on lacrosse too much. Both the men's and the women's top 5 stays the same, but we'll see if that sticks after some big games this week. Those big-time games feature some big-time players. Big-time players means big-time plays, and big-time plays means we have plenty of junior college gems. We've got a lot on tap for you this week across softball and baseball, and we start with the most exciting play in sports. Eva Folk of Indian Hills rockets this one to right, and it gets beyond the diving glove of the right fielder, which lets Folk show off the wheels. North Central Missouri tries the relay, but Folk is too quick as she slides in for an inside-the-park home run. Off to Kansas, Olivia Sandoval smashes one for a 2-run homer to extend the lead, but that's not the highlight. Next at bat is Annie Keeley, and the sophomore first baseman leaves the yard to left, making it 8-3 Hutch. Next at bat, and it's Jaylee Darnell taking one to the opposite field, showing off her power, but we're not done. Another opposite field home run. This time it's Maddie Divis. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 straight home runs. The last one is this one off the bat of Corey Lies, and the Blue Dragons feeling it in their win over Pratt. To the baseball diamond, and watch your lips. Logan Tibbett stares down the barrel of a hot shot comebacker, but calmly collects himself to flip to first base and record the out. What composure from the righty from Amarillo College, making a good play for the Badgers. Lastly, to Mississippi, where Abby Grace Richardson hits this ball to the moon, over the scoreboard against the Lady Wildcats of Pearl River, and with that swing, Richardson broke the school's career home run record with her 37th. By the time this airs, she's already up to 40 home runs. Congrats to Mississippi State commit Abby Grace Richardson on a great season and a great career as the Copiah Lincoln Wolves close out our junior college gems. Lots of spring left to send in your highlights. If you feel like doing that, make sure to tag us on Twitter or on Facebook at the handle below, at NJCAA Network, and we'll try to get you on the show. Well, that's all we got for you today on NJCAA All Access. A reminder, we'll be off for convention next week, but we'll be back better than ever to close out our spring sports. Thanks everybody for tuning in today. I'm Zach McKinstry, and we will catch you next time.